All right. Hello, everybody. Our recording is started here. So we are at August 15th here, just so we got the date stamp on the video. All right. I see a couple of you are back in after a while. Gwen, welcome back. I haven't seen you on the call for a while. All right. And Joe, he's
yeah, life's a little crazy.
Well, sometimes crazy is okay. And there, Joe, looks like you're out in the jungle. You got your green screen turned on though. You need to turn the green mode off. That'll get rid of the funky flashing.
Hey, John.
Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good, good. I had a couple of questions if I can jump in.
Sure, absolutely.
Can I share my screen? Would you mind?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
share.
Is that on the, let's see here, I'm trying to find.
Down at the very bottom, the
share,
green
okay.
share button. And then you gotta hit it twice. I don't know why they do that. I guess they give you the opportunity to share a particular screen or the whole thing.
Great. Okay. Here we are. So one question is, if you could go over on the upper, yeah, that's where the, can you review on WordPress?
Sure.
You said, I think a couple of weeks ago, that the alt text should be the file title. You should upload, like for instance, if it's Virectin side effects is the subject of the photo, the file size for SEO purposes should be Virectin side effects JPEG.
Yes.
And should you also put that right here for the alt text? Don't put a caption?
Well, what the alt text actually does, when you roll over the image, it will pop up a little pop-up window there that says whatever the alt text is. What that was originally made for was for ADA compliancy. So when blind people are viewing a website, it's like the Braille. You know, they have a reader that will read the text to them, but they can't read the images. So that is meant so they can see the image. So that's what it's originally made for. But in SEO world, it gives us another place to inject keywords into the code of the site that's not technically seen other than if you roll over it. So there a long time back, people would just stuff that with keywords, or once they got past the keyword stuffing, they would stuff it with like whole paragraphs. The only problem with that is when you roll over it, then this big box with the whole paragraph pops up in front of you. So there's nothing wrong with longer content in there. I don't know if no one's ever really come up with a fact on that if Google truncates it or not. But I can assure you, any text in the code is read by Google. So injecting text, like we used to do this when there was Flash sites, because a Flash site, the whole site was just basically looked at as an image. There was no content. So we could go in the back and we could put stuff in here like that. We could inject the entire content of a website into a Flash file. That way the search engine had something to look at. But same thing, like with the description and the caption, you'd have to test this, but I think if you look at the code, you'll find that description and that caption are also in the code of the site. So again, it gives you a place to inject content. Keep in mind though, if you're going to inject content, you don't want it to be spammy. It should include the keywords and relevant keywords, like the semantic, this LSI, latent semantic indexing keywords. And really all that means is it's just relevant keywords that relate to whatever the main keyword is. Like I use the example of baseball. LSI keywords to baseball would be anything related to baseball, like bat, ball, glove, stadium, home run, first base. Anything at all related is considered an LSI keyword. the best way to find what the most relevant LSI keywords are for you is to run your keyword search in Google itself, and then scroll down to the bottom and look at the recommended links.
Right.
They have recommended phrases, search phrases. Those are ideal because Google has already sifted out and figured out what it thinks they are.
So work those into a sentence in the alt text as LSI. Okay.
Exactly, because if they start ranking you for the one, chances are they'll rank you for all of those terms. And that really will give you a big boost. But anyway, do that. But that's what that alt text is. And when you talked about the original image, uploading the image, you had mentioned file size. Images should be optimized for loading fast. Like in, I know in...
You said 350 pixels is good?
350 is good. Yeah, that's a good size image. And then if you want a bigger image, like let's say you've got an image that has a lot of detail and people are going to want to really see the detail of the image, put the smaller image there and then just say click for larger. And when you click, just have it click to the larger file.
Right.
That is a more acceptable way of loading a big image than just force feeding a big image to load for everybody.
Right. Now, do you prefer to link in WordPress, to link the photo to a media file, attachment pages, or another custom URL? What I've been doing is linking it to another URL, preferably on the same website, so interlinking.
Yes.
Is that your thought?
It depends on what the image is, really. If the image is like an image of an ebook, then you might want to link to a file.
Okay.
You know, that would be a good, valid reason. Like if you have a thank you page and there's an image of your ebook and it says, you know, download now, click to download, then you're going to link it to a file.
Okay. I've noticed on, this is one of this ranks page one, this review site, they're not using a lot of photos with, this is about Virect and review. Okay. And you've talked about it's very powerful to use photos with the word and the word, you know, for example, Virect and review. They're using a lot of stock photos here. They use this stock photo for ingredients. They use this. Is this smart, or is this they don't want a keyword stuff the page? Or should they be using the word Virect and review, Virect and ingredients more in these photos?
No, what this is, I mean, this exact example, what they're using photos for here is to break up the page. They're basically making it a positive user experience. If somebody lands on a page and it's got all black and white and blue underlined text, that's boring. That's like hard to digest. But when you put photos and you break it up with headlines and all the stuff that they're doing here, you're making the page easily consumable. See how they've got scroll back up just a little bit there. Okay, so see how they're highlighting each different segment. So if you're scanning this and you see, oh, zinc, and that triggers you, then you'll read that. Otherwise, you know, you can scan through quickly. It's made for skimmers and scanners. So
if they added photos that said, for example, Virectin and Ginkgo, or Virectin and Tomcat Ali, would that work against them for SEO?
No, I don't think so. There's multiple uses for images. One use of images is basically just to make the page more consumable. They've done a really good job here. They put bright colors. It's interesting. It leads you in, like the zinc pill, and then the zinc right there, reading about the zinc. That's a really good use of an image to just break up the page. You know, it's like reading a page is a workout. It's a workout on the mind. So when you break it up and you make it visually appealing, all of a sudden now you broke the work and now you're entertaining and then you're back to work.
If you were doing SEO on this page, would you, for example, this zinc picture, would you title this, put the word Virectin in there somewhere, or is that too much?
What I would do, I would put why zinc is important to Virectin.
Okay.
Or, you know, zinc is a major component of Virectin because, and then put the benefit. That would be the ultimate way to work it in, because you're not keyword stuffing, you're not looking spammy, you're actually providing good content for a reason, for the user.
Okay. Another thing is, if I can get to this here, this is, this chart here is SEM desktop, the latest on Virectin search term.
Okay.
In red, what I did is, the problem is that on SEMrush, they're not giving mobile results. So they have a mobile tab here. I'm sure you've seen this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they said the results are not available. This value is based on a desktop keyword. So they won't give you what the mobile search results are. They're only good. This is really only desktop here. So what I did was I went through on my phone a few times, and actually what came up under multiple searches, they're in the ballpark, but for example, Virectin dosage here came up #1 on mobile, but it's only #9 for the search results, Virectin GNC #2. This one here, before and after pics, NA was not even, John, on the search results for SEMrush, but came up. Yeah. So another question, what's your latest on how do you deal with this if it's not?
What I've seen, like in SEMrush specifically, if you're at the main summary page and you're just getting the summary results, you're not into the keyword research portion, there's there's the toggle between desktop and mobile, and there it will give you the results of the mobile. I don't know why it's not giving it to you here.
Okay, so this is unusual then.
Yeah, I typically when I see that toggle, it actually works.
Okay.
In fact, it looks like, go back up there, it looks like you're actually showing the mobile results there.
Yeah, and what I did is, this is a screenshot, and it said this value is based on the desktop keywords metrics.
Oh, okay.
Not actually mobile. So
Okay.
is Google is not sharing with SEM?
Maybe they're just not revealing that here for some reason. I don't know why. But if you go back, like run the same search just in SEMrush, just for the summary. And in the summary, you can toggle back and forth, and it will tell you how many results there are, how many keywords they're ranking for, and it'll show you both in desktop and mobile, and you'll see it's typically very different.
Okay.
There's usually a lot less in the mobile.
Okay. Another thing is, if you put in, another question is, Virectin, how to take. You said a few weeks ago that there was an update with Google's algorithm, and they're boosting up authoritative sites. So if you go here, this is page 1, and if you click on this here, oh, that's not it. There's another one. This one here. It's they were redirecting to sales sites for other pills. Is this a temporary thing, or is this? Yeah.
You know, the guys that are really battling for the top spots in the competitive niches, you know, in SEO, they're the ones that are not really concerned with if they trash the site or not. They're always doing all kinds of, you know, little trick stuff. A lot of times it's a one-trick pony. Sometimes it'll stick. But if you notice, like when you ran through that, notice that, you know, Amazon was up there. That's what I'm referring to as an authoritative site.
Right.
They're really giving a lot of priority to those authority sites in almost everything now. You can run a search for almost anything, and you're going to see like major authoritative sites like that. If it's a product, then certainly Amazon's going to come up.
Right.
In real estate, you know, you've got all the top major realtor sites that are coming up, and you know, like the Trulia and all of that. They just, there's no way to beat them. It's crazy.
Right. All right. Real quick, I don't want to take up too much more time. How would you deal from an SEO perspective and also business perspective? This is another brand, Male Ultra Core, and this guy has been a big buyer of ads in this niche for a while. So With this new product, you see, he's got the top with all ads. But now, and this has been out for about 6 months, now he has all kinds of EMDs, and this is actually your technique. I started doing this, after listening to you a couple years ago. Nobody was really doing it in this niche. Now he took it and ran with this, where you see mailultraorder.com, before and after.com.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, every possible keyword you could imagine. It's like, so basically right now he's got like all the top is all ads. The first four, it's funny. The first 4 pages, you can't even get near this guy.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see that actually working again. There was a while where that stopped working.
Right.
The exact match domains. It's always worked pretty well in Bing. Bing puts a lot of weight on the domain name. So if you've got an exact match domain, and that's basically what we're seeing here. It's interesting the way Google is shifting back and forth. A lot of the stuff that used to work in the past that got kicked out, I don't know if they've like loosened the reins, or they've just like forgotten their old screen doors and they're just gone, or what. But I am seeing a lot of the old stuff that used to work popping back up and working again.
Okay. So is there a general technique to deal with this, or you have to wait it out and hope that he loses ranking, or hope?
The only thing that I believe it might be a temporary thing for is because of the fact that Google is looking with RankBrain at traffic signals. So when you have 10 different exact match domains, now you have 10 sites to pour traffic on to make them stick. So I don't know, how long they're going to go. Maybe Google's decided, hey, our RankBrain thing didn't work. I don't really think so. I don't think that's the case, because I know for sure they're still looking at the search signals. But it's really hard to say. They shift gears, and their big thing is to throw such a smoke screen up that they want to keep everybody in the SEO world confused. That's their biggest value, their biggest weapon really, is to keep us all confused, keep us all guessing. And that's what they're doing. They're bouncing back and forth. They're taking something that didn't work for a long time, and now it's working again. So, they're trying to make you think, oh, well, maybe this is new. Maybe I'll run that direction. And then they might be looking for people that do just that to kill them.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
You got to take all that stuff into consideration. When I look at the game, I'm looking at the game from like 25 years of experience. I'm like, when I see some stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that I don't think I would jump into that right away. I might let that play out a little bit and see how it works out for people. Instead of trying to catch, the new wave and the quick hit and all that. I've never been in the SEO world. I've never been a quick hit artist. I've just never, that's never been my style. And, I've seen a lot of people that go down for that. Yeah, they'll get traffic, they'll make a lot of money, but then what? If you're doing that, I don't have that luxury, because I do this for real businesses. If I go in and I trash a real business's website, they're out of business. They don't particularly care for that. That's not an appealing idea for them. So I have to be really careful. So a lot of times I come across with ways to do things that are may not be the most effective, but I can assure you they're definitely the safest.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, who is up next? Melinda, I got your request for your update. I'll probably get to it later today or tomorrow. It's been kind of crazy with our software launch over here.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that. John, I just need to do better. I'm working through the ACT program.
Okay.
So I'm trying to do things as you prescribed them to be, but I do know that I need to get in there and fool around with Kartra and figure out how to do that so I don't have to continually ask you, but I'm not going to lie, I'm really struggling with all of that.
Yeah, no, it's
Not my wheelhouse.
yeah, and you know the honest thing around it is it might not even be worth the struggle. You know, if you're only having updates periodically, for you to learn an entire system like that might not be the best use of your time. You know, it might be better off, like we have this conversation all the time of 3 things that you need to do with every aspect of your business. You need to automate, delegate,
Right.
or eliminate. Well, obviously you don't want to eliminate Kartra because
No.
that's like the backbone. So, and you know, Kartra can automate a lot of processes, but I think you might just want to delegate probably the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts of it, because that's not, like you said, it's not your wheelhouse, nor do you want it to be, probably.
No. Yeah.
So I've been thinking about, you know, I have a lot of people that are in your shoes like that, and I may, like in the hosting business, when I host people's websites, I offer them multiple types of hosting. One of the types of hosting that I offer is called Webmaster hosting. It's a little more expensive, but it includes all the updates, so you don't have to learn how to work on your site. When you have an update, you just send it to us and our team just updates it for you.
Okay.
I'm thinking about doing that also for all the Kartra users. You know, if you guys don't want to mess with Kartra, and I'll put a team together where we can just do the updates for you, and it'll just be like a monthly fee, like the Webmaster hosting, and we just handle that for you. So it'll be an affordable way to outsource that headache.
That would be lovely for me. At least I'm speaking for me, but
Yeah.
yeah, then I could devote my time to doing what
Yeah.
I need to do.
Sure, absolutely. And I really see the value in offering that. So I'm going to be releasing that pretty quick. So
Okay.
no worry. But in the meanwhile, don't worry, I'm taking care of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. John, one other thing is, you know, I'm still having trouble getting butts in seats as well. I mean,
Okay.
done a press release. We've done, we've got the Kartra link. I've sent it out. I'm just stymied why I'm not getting any traction on this event.
I can give you the answer.
Okay.
You're not going to like it, but I can give it to you. Okay, so, and this is the same for everybody. Everybody, you know, they put on events and they want to fill the seats and all of that. But there's a piece to that. There's a piece of reality to the front end of that. Putting butts in seats is a whole business in itself.
Right.
And you're probably not geared toward it.
Okay.
So what you're missing,
Not my wheelhouse either.
you're missing 2 pieces.
Okay.
And they're not that difficult to fix, and that's part of what the ACT program will help you with.
Okay.
And one of the pieces that you're missing is called a client acquisition funnel. And this is not just you. You have good company in the group that you're in, because this is like probably 90% of all entrepreneurs don't have a client acquisition funnel.
And I don't mind being the example either. So
yeah, no. Yeah, and like I said, it's not just you. It's probably everyone on the call. A client acquisition funnel changes everything. And what a client acquisition funnel is, it's a way that you can take a prospect, be introduced to them, and get them to make a purchase. You know, it's acquiring a customer. Once you've acquired the customer, then you need other funnels at play in your business to take them through all of the things that you sell and turn them into a lifetime customer.
Right.
But you don't get that opportunity. That's like when you have butts in seats, that's your opportunity to turn them into a lifetime customer.
Right.
But you're missing the piece in front of that.
In the middle, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then that's a client acquisition funnel. So, and when I say funnel, for a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand what a funnel is. All a funnel is a sales process, whatever you want to call it. It's just a sales process. Funnel is kind of a new word that's it's used in the digital world, and it's basically a digital representation of a sales process. That's all it is, and it can be in many, many different forms. It can be as simple as an email with a sales letter to a buy button, those don't really work that great. It depends on what you're selling and how much it's for and what the commitment level is. But that's where ACT will really help you figure out what that should look like.
Okay.
You know, it's like if you take your prospect and you figure out where they are, where they want to be, that's the timeline lesson.
Right.
That gives you a really good indicator of where they want to be. How much is that going to cost? If that's a $10,000 thing, we need to put a lot of stuff in place, because we can't just take somebody from, hi, I'm so-and-so, here's a $10,000 decision to make. We can't take them there in one step. We have a lot of education to do before we build the value of that and make it to where they see themselves not being able to live without it.
Okay.
So that might be a much longer funnel. That would be like, 1 hour webinars, maybe getting them to a live event, taking them through a 2-day live event to get them to understand they need this and they can't live without it.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm starting at the 2-day event. And so maybe having done, I mean, I'm in it. I've signed a contract, so I'm going to have to pay the money regardless of whether I have 0 or whether I have 14 or 24.
Yeah.
So what can you recommend for me and for others if they find themselves in this unfortunate position?
Sure.
To kind of build that.
Absolutely. There's an easy, well, maybe not so easy, but there's a fix for it.
Okay.
The fix for it is a fire sale. Like if you're charging $1,000 for the event, or $1,600, or whatever the cost is for the event, you can reach out to your warm audience, people that you already know, and you can say, hey, there's been an unfortunate mishap. I screwed up. I put the wrong dates on, and something happened. My shopping cart didn't work, and I'm missing like half the people in the room, and I need to fill the room. So here's your opportunity. I'll let you in for $97 or even for free. Because think about it, if you've already paid for it and you don't have anybody in there and you don't have any opportunity to sell anybody, even if you fill the room for free, a lot of times the free people won't buy, but they will spur the others to because of social proof. If you only have 2 buyers in the room and they look around and they see all the empty seats, I don't care how good your presentation is, they're probably going to be hesitant to buy. So it's a building of social proof, just having people in the room.
Okay.
And you just want to be careful, make sure you tell them, hey, keep this on the hush hush. I don't want the people that paid a lot of money to be here. That way you're presenting value and showing them, hey, you're getting a real opportunity. You don't want to miss out on this.
Okay.
You can also do this if you have opportunities to speak in front of groups last minute and say, hey guys, this is a last minute thing and I know it's tough, so I'm going to make it irresistible for you. This thing's worth $2,000. A lot of people paid that much to be there. How about if I give it to you for $97? Would that be cool? So you're really kind of bringing them into the fold, giving them a super deal.
Okay.
So that's
go ahead.
That's really one of the best ways to solve that problem and last minute put butts in seats. Another way is to reach out to influencers and get an influencer that has your audience and say, hey, I have this thing. Again, you can tell them, look, I really messed up on this. I sent the wrong thing out, or whatever your story is. Come up with some sort of a story that you screwed up. And this is the damaging admission story in the ACT program. This is what makes people connect to you and want to work with you, want to help you. Yeah, it makes you look real. So admitting that you screwed up is a good thing. So anyway, the influencer now, they feel when you say that and you're like on the run, they feel like they can take advantage of you. And that's what you want. You want them to feel that, because that will move them. That'll move them to an opportunity. And you could say, look, I usually don't pay commissions on these because of the cost of the event and all of this, but hey, if you're willing to push this out, I'll give you 75% because I really need to fill these seats. And they'll go, oh yeah, I'll push that for you. You know, because you put a big piece of money in their pocket, you're getting actual qualified paid people into your room, which
Right.
gives you the opportunity to sell them. You know, it's a lot of positivity flowing in one direction from an influencer. So that's another really good way last minute to do this.
Okay.
So back to the beginning of this, I said those two things you were missing. You were missing the client acquisition funnel.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing, the other piece to that is traffic. If you don't have traffic, like a lot of people will build a funnel and they just expect it to work. The last piece of ACT is traffic, A-C-T. If you're missing one of the three pieces, I've said this over and over and over, it's going to fall down like a house of cards. It's just going to crumble.
Yeah.
So traffic, you've got to have a form of traffic, whether you buy it or build it.
Okay.
That's the only two ways I know to get traffic, is buy it or build it. And one is long and hard and grueling, and one can be expensive. But without it, you got nothing.
Yeah.
So paid ads is the fastest path to cash. Sometimes it can be expensive or look like it's expensive, but when you look at the lifetime value of a customer, you need to look at it as an investment. I'm investing X amount in a client acquisition, and let's say it costs you $200 to acquire the customer. You got to buy $200 worth of traffic to acquire a customer that's going to buy a $47 thing. So you're in the hole $150, right?
Right.
But if you know that $47 sale is going to take them to a live event where you're potentially going to sell them a $2,000 thing, now was it worth the $150 it cost you?
Yeah, sure.
So it's a numbers game. I mean, all of this is about basic business, which is about buying and selling things. So you just have to figure out what is your cost to buy and what is your profit to sell. And that's where, you know, sometimes you have to lose money to acquire a customer, knowing that, you know, down the line, this customer is going to eventually turn profitable and my business is going to make money. It's just going to be 9 months from now, or a year from now, or 2 years from now. And, you know, and I'm not saying that's going to be the case for you. A lot of people can do it much quicker. There's a lot of people that they figure out how to make the first sale just cover the cost of the advertising, so they're not going in the hole. And if you can do that, that's awesome. That's great. You know, sometimes you just can't manage that. Depends on the business, depends on what you have for sale leading through your value ladder.
Okay.
You know, value ladder is just, it's your product line basically. And it doesn't, keep this in mind too, everybody, it doesn't have to be your products. Like you might have a value ladder that you're making money by selling affiliate things along the way. Like you might have product A and you might have product Z, but you don't have the other 24 of the alphabet in between. You can just find vendors and make money all the way to take your customer from the first product A that you sold them to the final product Z, which you're ultimately going to take them to in 2 years. But in the middle of it, you can sell them all the affiliate things that they're going to need in the process to get there. So I love the game because that's all it is. It's a game, and for me, it's kind of fun to figure out. I know when you're in the middle of it, and you're really frustrated, and things look very dark. It doesn't look like a lot of fun for you.
Not fun for me right now, John.
Yeah, but business in general, I'm referring just to business in general, is a very fun game for me because I never look at it as there's no problems. It's just like, you know, we just need to come up with a solution. It's like, what are the parameters and how do we make this puzzle work?
Yeah. So you mentioned an affiliate link, and we talked about this on a previous call. But how do I set up an affiliate link?
inside Kartra, you automatically have an affiliate program built into it. So when you set up your products in Kartra, and again, I'm not saying that you should do this, I can do this for you very easily.
Okay.
All I have to do is I just check off this product is available to affiliates, and then I put in, you know, how much the commissions are.
Okay.
And if there's recurring commissions, and then once that's set up, now that is available for all of the people that are promoting anything on Kartra to promote your stuff. And
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
you could specifically send a link out to like your influencers and say, hey, I have an affiliate program. Here's the link where you can sign up, and then we'll get you your links to promote. And it generates all that. Kartra generates all that automatically. When the affiliate signs up, it automatically generates their links and puts them in their members area for them. For me, what I do is I go in there for them because I don't expect them to know how to log in and find their links and all that. So what I'll do, I'll actually log in. When I have a good affiliate and I want to really help them promote, I log into my back end of Kartra and I go into their account and I'll pull their links out for them and I'll just email them to them. And I'll say, here's the actual copy to send out. I wrote it for you. I made it really simple. And your link is in it. All you have to do is hit send. And they're like, oh, cool, awesome. You know, I love you. You're great.
Yeah, you make life easy for me to make money.
Exactly. So if you can do that, the more you can help your affiliates, the more likely they are to actually do a good job for you.
And I know that we also discuss like percentages, but is there like a general
There's not
point figure that you know, is it like 40%? Is it?
There really isn't. I can tell you some generalities. One generality is you've got to look at how much profit is in the product, because you can't, you know, you don't obviously want to give away and, you know, turn it into a loss. That's a generality. Another generality is the internet marketing space. If your influencer is an internet marketer, they're looking for a big bang for the buck, really quick, fast, and easy. So commission rates need to be high. If you're doing software or digital products or things that don't have a, you know, a true cost on the front end to them, you know, your cost might be customer service on the back or server fulfillment if you're software or whatever. But if you've got more of a digital type product or something that's really automated, I know that's not your case, but in that case, they really expect 50%.
Okay.
They expect a 50-50 cut, and some of them 50-50 front and back. That doesn't work.
Wait, what does that mean?
Front and back means like on the first sale and any subsequent sale after.
I thought you meant, yeah.
Like that's really common on software. Like
Okay.
if you're selling hosting services, the affiliate will want a cut of the first sale, and then they'll want a cut of the monthly revenue on the back end.
Got it.
So that's what I mean by front and back.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times that doesn't apply. Like, you know, if you're in different markets, that might not apply. If you're selling physical products, and, you know, a lot of times a manufacturer will be making money on volume sales. They might only have 10% profit built into their sales. So they can't give away that, you know, they're giving away 3, 4, 5% to an affiliate. Now, the problem with that is most affiliates in the internet marketing space, they won't touch that. They will, you know, they won't get out of bed for 5%.
Right.
So again, these are just some generalities to kind of gauge that there really is no set in stone thing.
Yeah.
Just know if it's digital stuff, they're going to expect 50%. The more you give them, the more you'll incentivize them.
Of course.
Like we were considering on our software product that we're selling, our site pop, we were considering giving the affiliates 75% of the upfront and nothing on the back. And a lot of times, like in the IM space, the marketers will go for that. That's a gold mine for me because I'm going to make money forever on the back end, and they don't get any of it. So their
Right.
greed, I'm playing upon their greed on the front end, that, you know, they don't have trust in me to hold customers, where I hold customers really well.
Yeah,
So
that's what I want to do. I
yeah,
mean,
so they just want the quick buck on the front end. So knowing that, you can kind of leverage that and take advantage of that greed on their part, not letting them know you're taking advantage of them. They think they're getting a great deal. Hey, I'm getting 75%.
sure.
They think they're taking you to the cleaners, and you know you're really giving them the keys to the kingdom, when really you're going to come out smelling like a rose.
Okay. One last thing, and then I know you've got other people, but things like, one of the things is I was looking at my copy and I'm thinking I need some NLP copy. I think is also what I need, with those trigger words and buying words.
Uh-huh.
Although I haven't been through an NLP program, I'm destined to do that eventually.
Well, you know, don't get caught up on NLP, so to speak. NLP, all that really is, it's modeling. NLP is modeling. Think of it as that.
Okay.
And it's built in and it's worked into the ACT program. So if you follow the ACT program, you're going to naturally come up with NLP.
Okay. And I'm doing that. I'm just in the work through first before I get into the workbook stage.
Because rather than getting caught up on NLP phrases and terms and, you know, manipulation and all that, if you just follow the natural process of ACT, you're going to come out with that, and it's going to be very natural. It's not going to look contrived, because what you're doing, you're trying to figure out who you're talking to so you can mirror them.
Right.
So you can, you know, you can sympathize with them. They feel, oh, this person really knows me. They understand me. They get me. And they've been me. And they found a better way. And now I want to be like them. So it's like in the mirror game, if you're in person, like a good salesperson, the first thing they'll do is they'll mirror their prospect. And if they're really good and they understand what they're doing and why, they're doing it for a specific reason. They're mirroring them to create a bond. So then they can take control, and now the prospect is mirroring them, and then they can lead them. And the way you do that is, you know, if your person's sitting back, you sit back. If they lean forward, you lean forward, and you follow exactly what they're doing. You know, if they're sucking their thumb, you suck your thumb. You know, whatever it is, you basically, you're just trying to be like them so they feel comfortable.
Okay. And that works on that less conscious level. They don't even really realize you're doing it.
Yeah, they don't even know what you're doing. So if they take a sip of water, you take a sip of water. And then at some point, when you feel like you're totally in sync, then you make the first move and you see if they follow you.
Okay.
If they do, you got them. Now you can lead them. If you don't have control yet, you just go back to mirroring them until you do. And they'll never see it. They'll never see the difference. You just do something different, like you shift in your seat. If they shift in their seat, you got them. They're following you.
Okay.
You've created the bond. That's the real mechanic.
Now that sounds like fun.
It's hilarious once you understand
like a game I can get into.
Yeah, once you understand it, and it's like a new toy.
Okay, now I can't wait.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about doing some, I know that there are live now. LinkedIn is allowing you to do LinkedIn Live. So
Okay.
I've been thinking about doing some of those LinkedIn Lives, specifically addressing situations that have come up in the workplace, talking to them about how I had to deal with that, and I didn't really know how at first, and then over the years having developed whatever. And so is that another good like opportunity to use the fire sale, or is that coming across as too?
It could be. You don't have to actually tell what the fire sale is when you're doing the thing. What you might do on the end, after you've provided good value, basically they're following you. You know, you've matched them, you've mirrored them, they're following you. Now at the end, what you can do is you can say, you know, if you're an influencer, if you've got a group of people that you feel like could help, I have a very special opportunity and I'd love for you to reach out to me. Just email me and let's open a dialogue.
Okay. What about for like a direct sale? If you feel like these 2 days would benefit you and your organization.
Yeah, direct sales sometimes are looked at kind of icky in that forum. So just be careful. You know, watch what else is going on. If other people are doing it and it's accepted and acceptable, then yeah, by all means. But sometimes different groups, like especially forums, if you go into forums, or let's say you're in a Facebook group and there's, you know, 10,000 people in there, and you can go in and you can do a Facebook Live, but then when you try and make a sales push on it, you might get kicked out of the group.
Okay.
Just be very careful. Just dance lightly in those areas till you really see if you can get away with that kind of stuff.
So then is it still acceptable for me to say, you know what, if you really want to discover a little bit more about how this can work for you personally, reach out to me at melinda@melindastallings.com.
Yeah, see, that's where if you had a good client acquisition funnel, that's where you push them into the client acquisition funnel. Because the client acquisition funnel traditionally gives away something free on the front end. So you could say, hey, I have a great PDF that's kind of like the shortcut blueprint to the process to get what you want. I would love to give that to you for free. And that's your lead magnet. So you send them to your landing page. Now you've started your client acquisition funnel. That's the first thing, is to grab their attention.
Right. Okay.
Get them in. Now they're in your database. Now you can follow up with them as many times as you need to create that first sale.
Okay. And I was thinking about going back to clients that I've had previously, or first connections from organizations that I've targeted. So I don't want to send any kind of sleazy copy or whatever, but
no, it's never about sleazy copy. It's always about connecting to help.
Okay.
If you're going about it, if you're thinking you're doing sleazy copy, you probably are.
Yeah, well, I haven't been, but I just want to make sure that I don't.
Yeah, no, I would never recommend that, because that gives you that you're creating the sales process of a used car salesman, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. So what you want to do is you want to come from a sympathetic, you know, place of trying to help, basically.
Okay.
I know there's a better word for that.
Empathy.
Yeah, an empathetic, sympathetic, showing them basically in that instance, what you're doing is you're taking a step backwards in your own history to mirror them and show them, hey, I was just like you. You're creating that mirror bond.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
And then what you're doing is you're leading them out of it. You're saying, I did this, it worked, it was great, my life has changed, I'm transformed. That's the transformation they want. So they're most likely to follow you, because that's what they want. It's like you're ahead of them with a light shining on the path to get them to the pot of gold. Do you think they're going to wander off into the darkness, or are they going to follow right behind you with the light?
I'll be with the light. I'm speaking from experience. I'm going to go with the light.
Exactly. So that's what you want to create. That's what you're missing.
Okay.
And, you know, and unfortunately that usually doesn't happen overnight. I can't just like snap my fingers and take you to the end of the rainbow. I can get you there, but it's going to take us a little time and a little work.
Okay. All right. No harm, no foul. Okay. Thanks so much, John. I really appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. And sorry if I told you in the beginning, I gave you a disclaimer. You weren't going to like it, and it was going to be a little painful.
No, it's good. I need it. I got to hear the real deal, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to tell you the truth, even if it hurts.
The truth is always appreciated. Always.
Yeah,
that's where the good stuff comes from.
Yeah, I don't sugarcoat the stuff, and you know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it is what it is, and
that's right.
Hopefully we can make make good out of it.
Eventually we will, but it's like, I mean, I can't plant a seed and expect it to be a corn stalk in 3 days. It's just going to take some time.
Think of it this way too. It's a process, and you've probably already done the process, or you've seen the process.
Right.
And you know how long the process takes from having done it.
Yeah.
You know, like if in the past, like if you used to do these prior to the internet, you know the sequence of meeting someone here. What did you do? What did you do? How did you get them to the next step? How long did that sequence take to actually make the big sale?
Okay.
Probably didn't happen in, you know, one meeting.
No.
So that's what we have to do. We have to take, and this is back to NLP. NLP is modeling. It's modeling something that worked so you can get the same result.
Yeah.
So if we can look at your process, whatever that happened to be, and we can understand what was it about that process that worked, we can replicate it in the digital world.
Okay.
I guarantee you if it worked in the real world, it's going to work in the digital world.
Exactly.
We just have to figure out how to recreate it digitally and make it be the same experience.
Okay.
And then and that's really cool, because at that point, now what? We've automated.
Automate.
Yeah. We've replicated it, but we've automated the process that used to be a lot of manual work for you.
Right.
So, and then we can take all the work that comes on the back end, we can delegate that, and anything else, we just eliminate it. And now you got an automated lifestyle. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff, isn't it? It's worth, let me tell you something, the juice is worth the squeeze.
I like that.
It really is, because what I'm talking about is really what every one of you on here wants. You want the, you know, the lifestyle. You want it to happen. You want to be off doing what you want to do, and the only way to do that is to automate it.
Okay.
Automate, delegate, and eliminate.
Right. Okay.
So,
thank you.
And the key to that is figuring out what it is. What are we trying to automate? We're trying to automate your sales process.
That's what if I could just get that automated, my life would be so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can do it because you can automate the traffic. You can buy the traffic. You can have traffic campaigns or somebody managing your traffic campaigns that just run, just generate the leads, and then your funnel takes the lead and it nurtures them and it turns them into a prospect and it turns them into a customer. And then, you know, the rest of your funnel just keeps on going, nurturing them into the next and the next and the next level.
So this team that you're setting up, will that comprise like a lot of these things that you've talked about, or are they just for particular aspects of Kartra?
Well, what I'm talking about is just basically a workforce to do what you want it done, not somebody to figure out what that is, but just to implement it.
But so like you said, so somebody to work the sales process for you, would that be part of what that team would do?
No, that wouldn't be it. What I was talking about there was basically like, you know, when you need your Kartra updated, you need a new product added. Basically, you're telling them what you need, and they're just doing it for you.
Okay, got it.
That's, you know, it's like when you take your car to the mechanic. You say, hey, I have a flat tire. I don't want to deal with this. Can you have somebody fix that for me? Yeah. Okay. That's what.
Because that's not my wheelhouse. No pun intended.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. That's what it's meant for. Is just to take that off your plate. It's the delegate. I'm giving you a mode of delegation there for the tech stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
But now I'm thinking about, I'm actually trying to train some people. That's part of what my original intent with the apprentice program was to train people to know exactly how to do what I do so they could help others. And then the apprentices then could help, like somebody like you that wanted that system built, they could do that and make the money on doing that for you. I haven't quite got to that level yet.
Okay.
But that's my goal, is to train people and build an army of people that know the ACT program inside out
Sure.
that can help others with it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know that I need to get really familiar with the ACT program and be aware of it, just so I can know what to say. I need this, or I want to do that, or here's where I am, and what can you do?
Yeah, and we're putting on, I'm starting to do 2-day events here at my place, at my house in Huntington Beach, and we're doing them with like 4 or 5 people, just
Okay.
a very small group, and we're doing 2 days to actually go through it.
Okay.
That might be really beneficial for you.
Okay.
So we're doing one actually Sunday and Monday. That one's sold out.
Okay.
But what I'm telling everybody is, if you want to do that, give me the date that you're available for it, and then I'll run with it, and I'll invite the rest, and we'll fill them up. I'm just horrible at picking dates. Every time I pick a date for an event, nobody can make it. So I gave up.
Well, that's what's happening with me. It's
Yeah.
It's not a good day. It's back to school. It's something. I'm like,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's funny. Every time someone else picks a day for me, I announce it, and everybody can make it. So
Okay. I'm going to pick a date.
You pick the date, and we'll go for it.
Do you have an investment what's the investment for that?
If you're in the apprentice program, there's no cost for it. If you're not, it's like $4.95 for the 2 days.
Okay. I'm going to pick a date.
Okay. Awesome. I'm sure you'll pick a better date than I would. So.
Okay, y'all. I'm going to let you know when the date is soon.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else? Cheryl.
I have a quick question that you can answer very quickly.
Okay.
We have the stem cell clinic, we have a website that somebody else in the team sent to some designer in Indonesia.
Okay.
Now different members of the team have taken over the website, and as we went in and looked at how it was set up and everything, we realized it was set up in this program called cPanel, not WordPress.
Yes, I remember when Paul did that. I set up a WordPress for him, and he said his designer wanted it in HTML, so I shifted him over to cPanel. So yes, you are correct.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's basically, it's just HTML though. So most people don't work in HTML anymore. A lot of them, almost everybody is.
And we have that sent to Beaver Builder? Yes,
I actually have a guy that is way better than the Beaver Builder guy. They'll use the Beaver Builder plugin, but this guy has been phenomenal. He's done like 10 websites for me in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, and so he's better at it than the Beaver Builder guy I use?
He's very, very up on the communication. His team, he doesn't do it. He basically does what I'm talking about. He does the automation, the delegation, and elimination. So he has a team where he delegates the work to. And so far, they've been really, really good working with me. I got out of the web development business for several years because I didn't have a good team behind me. But I feel really confident with this guy that I can open those doors back up and do WordPress development now for people.
So how do we go about sending the website to this guy instead of Beaver Builder?
Just shoot me over an email with it, and I'll connect you guys, and he'll get you fixed up.
Okay. And is the cost about the same, or?
Yeah, it's about the same. It's just a lot faster, a lot better designers, and just a really good experience. I know you had your difficulties with the Beaver Builder guy. And I think it was because he was a one-man show. And he just, he got a lot of business real fast, and he got overwhelmed.
Yeah, and then he would just be gone for a long periods of time because he was deep into somebody else's site. Yeah,
so I assume that was just him having too much to do and not being able to deal with it.
He was good at what he did, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, I got you down for our Sunday Monday event, so that'll be pretty cool.
Good to hear what you did.
You're going to actually walk through the entire ACT program,
Yep, we're going to go A to Z.
and each
Nice.
person in the group, it gets a chance to actually develop each one of those steps along the way.
Yeah, because there's only 4 of you that I'm working with, so
Great.
we've got 2 days together to get it done.
That's great, John. That's what I need.
Yeah, and then you can come back on the call and tell everybody how it was.
Maybe I'll even be able to help people.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I know I think Joe's helping Melinda, because Joe's in the apprentice program. Joe Dichara.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really cool. You know, it's like one of those things. It's so good when you know it, you want to share it, and that's my goal. That's my intention.
At least pumped.
I've done a lot of work on, getting all those pieces written or thought through, but putting it all together somehow and actually
Yeah.
putting it in an organized format where I can actually send it out in some way, that just hasn't come together for me yet. So this will be really helpful.
Yeah, well, that's where Kartra is really, really spectacular at putting it all together in one piece, and it's really cool. But yeah, I'm actually working with Missy next week. I don't know if you know her. She's out of Craig's World, but she's doing a thing where she wants to reach out to kids and help kids with entrepreneurship.
Nice.
I told her, I said, man, if you teach a kid the ACT program, think of the advantage that they would have over their life, knowing that at a kid level.
Wow. Because they assimilate so fast.
Yeah, if they get the basics and they understand the concepts going into the game, I mean, man, if I knew what I knew now in high school, where would I be? It'd be crazy to think.
And how does going through the ACT program and coming up with our individual pieces, would it be good to use an intern at that point, or where does the intern fit into the picture?
Well, the way that I use an intern is I'll run an intern through the actual program, and if I have something particularly in mind, I might just have them run through those lessons. Like if I wanted someone to come up with a big idea, I'd run them through the big idea training and say, hey, I need you to come up with a big idea for my business. Here, go through the training to this point. So for you to come up with a big idea, basically you need a couple of steps prior to that. So you need to do the empathy lesson, you need to do the timeline, you need to do the avatar, so you know who you're targeting. And then at that point, they'll have enough information under their belt about your business, they should be able to come up with a big idea for you. So that would be one way. You might have somebody do a sales letter. But again, the further down you go, the deeper into creation you go, you have to have all the pieces before to be able to do that effectively.
Right.
So you really need them in the analysis piece first so they can get their head wrapped around what you need. It's like if you hire a copywriter. Copywriters are really expensive. A good copywriter, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and it's only going to be as good as the information that you give them. They're not going to do analysis for you. They're going to take what you give them at face value, and they're going to create something out of it. Like we did that for Gary. We created a sales system based on what he told me. He didn't do the analysis piece, and it was wrong. So we had a great funnel, but it wasn't targeting the right thing. It wasn't touching on the right points. So ultimately, it failed because of that. So same thing with a copywriter. A copywriter is only going to be as good as the information they're working from. So keep that in mind. Like if you have somebody working in your business, they have to have that back knowledge to be able to move forward effectively.
Makes sense.
Same thing with traffic. If you're, let's say you're going to hire someone to do traffic, they have to know what you're doing. You've got to be able to convey, here's my person, they are in Facebook, so let's do Facebook traffic. You know, you could go to a person that specializes in let's say they specialize in pay-per-click traffic, and your audience is in the unaware category. Guess what? We have a serious mismatch there. No one's searching for it. So you got the wrong traffic guy. So again, it's so tightly knit from front to back. The ACT is, it's almost like it's a system that just doesn't work any other way. Like I said, I've said this a lot. I've never seen a business that was successful that was operating outside those parameters, even if they didn't know it. And you know, on the flip side of the coin, every business that has failed because they were outside the parameters. Like even businesses that were really strong in history, historical businesses that were unstoppable, like Kodak. What happened to Kodak? The market shifted and they didn't reanalyze the market. They continued on the path and they just disappeared. So there's all kinds of historical proof like that. You know, there's a lot of places going out of business right now because the buyer habits shifted, the market shifted. You know, it's still the same people, but they're communicating in a different way. It's like, think about if you were the plumber that's still advertising in the yellow pages. How good do you think that guy's doing right now? I mean, he's done. You know, he's gone. He's a dinosaur. I mean, even myself, I've shifted throughout the years. Like when I was a commercial photographer, I did special effects. Photoshop came up. I was like, holy shit, this is the end for me. I recognized it before the end actually happened, and I shifted and I sidestepped the disaster. That was what forced me into the internet. That was what got me where I am here now. But I recognized it and I didn't wait till it was too late. I made the shift and I never felt the fall because I already had 1 foot over here before both feet were going out from under me. So that's what Kodak did not do. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I can look back now and I can see why I was successful. And it was purely, like I said, people can be successful following the program and not knowing it. Yeah. But when I look back, every business I've ever looked at, everyone, either they're on board or they're not.
I think I've been in the half board section.
Yeah, you can have 1 foot on each side, and if you do the splits too long, you fall down the middle.
Exactly, and I don't want to go there.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Anybody else got anything before we wrap up here? I could talk about this stuff all day, but I know you guys got stuff to do.
Thank you so much, John.
All right. You're very welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you for asking the questions, because that's what gives me what to talk about on the calls here. You know, if you guys don't ask questions, then we all just sit here and look at each other, and that's not fun.
Well, so for me, I'm listening to I've forgotten the first guy that had the amazing questions. Like he's going through all of the SEO optimization. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's Anthony.
Anthony, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so basic.
Well, Anthony's been with me for probably 10 years. So
well, that makes me feel better.
He's a long way down the road. So
yeah. Well, it was fascinating and interesting and impressive that he obviously knew which questions to ask you, but I sometimes feel hesitant to ask questions because I'm not even sure what questions to ask.
Yeah, no, the whole point of this is for you to ask the question where you are.
Yeah, okay.
That's the whole point of this call. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be on the very beginning step, or you can be 10 years down the road like Anthony is. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm here. I'm here for everybody.
Appreciate it very much. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you all for being on here and the great questions, and we'll be back on next week, so we'll see you then.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, have a great week, everybody.
You have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.